History is a tapestry woven with turning points. Empires rise, empires fall. And from those ashes spring the seeds of our modern world. But what if a single thread in that tapestry had not frayed? Today we embark upon a journey of imagination, a journey back to a pivotal moment in the saga of the Roman Empire. At its zenith, the Roman Empire was a colossus of power and culture, yet like all things it crumbled. Germanic tribes sacked Rome, the empire fractured, ushering in the age we call the Middle Ages. But the twilight of the empire was not a preordained fate. The year is 28 AD. On a field in Adrianople, a force of desperate Goths faced the might of the Eastern Roman Empire. Emperor Valens, overconfident and rash, makes a fateful decision and charges his troops into catastrophe. His legions are slaughtered, he himself is slain, and history pivots on its axis. This was a wound that Rome would never truly recover from. It was the beginning of the end. And yet, what if the Battle of Adrianople had gone differently? And what if Rome had weathered that storm? Join me as we open the door into a world that might have been... Imagine, the Battle of Adrianople was a Roman triumph. The Goths are crushed, their rebellion snuffed out. Rome's borders remain strong, a bastion against the tides of chaos beyond. This victory alters the very course of centuries. Without the crippling blow at Adrianople, the Roman Empire consolidates its power. Internal strife is quelled, barbarian incursions are repelled. Perhaps a wave of ambitious emperors push further into the Germanic lands, changing the ethnic makeup of Europe itself. The legions don't just secure Europe, they venture further. Imagine Roman armies pushing into Persia, bringing their order and might to the birthplace of empires. The rise of Islam, a force that so deeply shaped our world, might never occur, or does so in a radically altered form. It's tempting to think Rome would have triggered an industrial revolution centuries early. But technology is a complex beast. Perhaps Roman bureaucracy stifles it, or perhaps a different kind of innovation flourishes. Clockwork mechanisms, vast aqueduct networks, who knows what they might have achieved? Centuries pass. While the empires of the East might rise and fall, Rome stands eternal. Their spirit of exploration doesn't fade, and fueled by a thirst for knowledge, those caravels eventually sail west. But when they reach the Americas, it is not the native tribes that greet them, but Roman colonists, perhaps legions sent to secure new frontiers for the empire. The encounter is brutal, bloody, but Rome is nothing if not adaptable. Would they conquer, their iron discipline crushing the empires of the Americas? Or would they assimilate, a strange new hybrid culture emerging? Perhaps disease still ravages native populations, leaving a Romanized wasteland ripe for a new beginning. Imagine our world now. Latin, not English, the language of global exchange. Togas in sleek, futuristic fabrics replace our business suits. Perhaps the Senate still sits, not in Washington, but in a resplendent Rome. Or perhaps echoes of revolution haunt the empire, whispers of modern-day Caesars and struggles for power under the aquiline banners. Could such an empire last forever? Would it crumble from within or face threats unimaginable from beyond the stars? Perhaps that spirit of Rome, that ambition which built their world, would lead them to spaceflight. To think, the first footprints on Mars might be made in Roman sandals. Intrigued by this world that might have been? If you're enjoying this journey through alternate history, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more. It helps us continue to explore the twists and turns of time. Christianity, born in the shadow of the Roman Empire, found fertile ground amidst its twilight. But in a world where Rome never fades, that spark of faith might face a different path. Perhaps it is tolerated as one cult among many, its spread gradual and confined. Maybe Christianity is absorbed into the vast Roman pantheon, morphing into something unique, or it remains a persecuted sect, its revolutionary ideas simmering beneath an unyielding empire. Perhaps schisms emerge within Christianity itself, its development shaped by the world around it. Religious strife takes on a new form. Centuries of conflict might erupt between Romans clinging to their ancient gods and the passionate followers of a new faith. Or perhaps an uneasy alliance is forged, an emperor adopting a warped form of Christianity to bolster his rule. The absence of the historical Catholic Church with its power and influence would create ripple effects we can scarcely comprehend. The Crusades, the Reformation, Such upheavals might take on vastly different forms or never occur at all. The very fabric of our global tapestry would be woven from different threads. Greek tragedies might still be classics, but Roman playwrights create grand works, perhaps satirizing emperors or spinning tales of conquest with endings altered to always favor Rome. The birth of Shakespeare is butterflied away, and a different literary giant rises. Art isn't just about beauty, but power. The visual landscape of this world reinforces Roman dominance. It inspires, awes, and perhaps even intimidates. Could their equivalent of Michelangelo paint brutal conquests as acts of noble pacification? Beyond the grandeur, ordinary Romans live. Farmers lament taxes, lovers quarrel, philosophers in ragged togas debate under the watchful eyes of imperial spies. Even the greatest empire cannot crush the human spirit of humor, hardship, and the yearning for something more. Roman ingenuity was undeniable. But in a world without the Dark Ages, those sparks might have fueled a different kind of progress. Imagine steam power harnessed centuries early, vast aqueducts morphing into intricate pressurized water systems powering their cities. Yet mindsets matter. Roman brilliance lay in the practical, not pure theory. Perhaps their world teems with engineering marvels, but lacks the leap in abstract thinking that sparked later scientific revolutions. Rome understood knowledge was a tool. In this world, dissemination of ideas might be strictly controlled. Breakthroughs become tools of state power, not engines of social change as in our own history. Could their alternate timeline give us a world of polished bronze and gears? A technologically advanced Rome, but one visually and philosophically distinct from our own. The very concept of progress takes on a different shape. Roman military prowess was undeniable. In this world, it never stagnates. They adapt to changing threats, their doctrine evolves. Stirrups, borrowed from Eastern rivals, formations reminiscent of Napoleonic squares, yet drilled to brutal Roman perfection. Empires breed rivals. Imagine a China that never fractured, pushing back against Rome, its vast armies fueled by gunpowder and a hunger to match the eagle. Or a united Mongol horde led by a Genghis Khan figure centuries before our own history, clashing with steel-clad legions over silk roads and resource-rich steppes. Conflict drives innovation. If Rome endured, so did its foes. War would never look the same. Legions could lock shields against disciplined eastern phalanxes or face the fury of steppe hordes with tactics honed over centuries of relentless warfare. Constant warfare could mold a different kind of Rome. Perhaps they become ruthlessly efficient, a state where militarism is ingrained in its society. Yet every victory seeds future threats, borders grow vast and harder to defend. Even an unshaken empire is not impervious. History is a river, its currents carrying us to the world we know. Yet had a single battle unfolded differently, those currents might have carved an entirely different course. This Roman Empire that never fell, it's a ghost and echo, reminding us of how choices shape the world we inhabit. Our world is shaped by empires fallen, faiths ascended, revolutions sparked. In the enduring Rome, we see hints of paths untaken, struggles that might never have been, triumphs and injustices averted, or simply given new forms. Perhaps their Rome still yearns for expansion, or crumbles beneath its own weight. Regardless, it forces us to look at our world with new eyes, to appreciate the fragile triumphs and the flaws born of our own unique journey through time. This glimpse of Rome's eternal reign sparks endless possibilities. What marvels or perils might their empire still hold? Share your own alternate Roman destinies in the comments below, and to ensure you don't miss our next venture through time's many paths, activate that notification bell.